basic concepts of object-oriented programming. Already you have learned these concepts in your C++. So once again, let us see. These are essential concepts of your C++. First is object, second one is a class, third one is a data abstraction and encapsulation, fourth one is inheritance, and fifth one is polymorphism. Let us see. Our first topic is an object. Already you are familiar with the object. Objects are basic runtime entities in object oriented systems. By using this object, we are going to be solving the real world problems. So sometimes we are treating the definition of an object as instance of a class. So instances are nothing but variables. So these variables are treated as objects. Every object of a class has its own identity, attributes and behavior. So let us see a pen. A pen possesses its own identity, right? So how we are calling this? It is an identity by using pen. It is having certain attributes like height, width and so on, and its behavior. So then what is the purpose of using pen? For writing. So we are going to be using for writing purpose. So in the same sense, we are referring the identity is the name of the object, attributes refers to the properties of the object, and behavior refers to the function in the object can perform. Let us see here. I am taking an example of a class as a student and member variables as a name, roll number, marks 1 and marks 2, and member functions are total, average and display. If you observe here, the name of the class is a student, and here the attributes of a student is his possessor name, roll number, mark 1 and mark 2, and what is his role, what is his function, what we are going to be performing some computation. We are going to be calculating the total. How we are going to calculating the total? By summation of marks he secured, and we are calculating the average, and also we are going to be displaying. So by using these member functions, we are performing that task. And if you take in your class, you are having so many of us students, right? So I have defined this for a particular, I have not defined this is for a particular student. I have defined for all your class students. So I have to differentiate with each student as an object as student 1, student 2 and so on. So here the same thing, identity refers student 1, student 2, student 3. Each student possesses the similar properties or similar attributes, that is name, roll number and his own is marks. By using these, we are calculating the total and average of each student by calling the objects. Okay, by calling the objects of student 1, student 2, student 3. After calculating that, we are displaying his own details. So this slide explains the same thing. Now let us see a class. What is a class? A class is a collection of objects of similar type. So it is a collection of objects of similar type, and also it is sometimes treated as a user defined type that assists in representing and solving complex real world problems. So by using these class, we are going to be solving complex problems or complex real world problems. So sometimes this is treated as a user defined types. A class is a collection of member variables of different types combined with functions that operate on a data. So what does a class possess? A class possesses data members and member functions. Based on that data members and member functions, we are operating some task on that data. The variables in the class are called member variables or member data, and function in the class are called member function. In actually Java, we have not supposed to treat it as data members and member functions. Data member now onwards it is treated as a data, and data functions or member functions are treated as methods. So this is a pure concept of data and methods in Java. Next, our concept is abstraction. Let us see what is an abstraction. Abstraction means concentrating on only essential details and ignoring non-essential details. If you observe a car, if I want to hold the brake, I need a braking system. I do not want whether it consists of an accelerator, pedal or anything, non-essential. I want only the brake. If I hold the brake, the car has to stop. So the essential details are shown, and non-essential details like the mechanism behind are not shown to the driver. So whenever I am applying the brake to the car, the brake object has to be displayed and it has to be shown, and whatever the mechanism, if I press that, if I hold that brake, the mechanism how that it hold, how it stops the car is not essential for us. So in the same sense, this is called as an abstraction. This is simply means looking for what you want. So mainly abstraction focuses on concentrating on essential details and hiding of non-essential details. And next our OOPS concept is encapsulation. You are familiar with this encapsule, right? The wrapping up of data and function into a single unit to keep safe from external interface or misuse. So what I am doing in these object-oriented programming paradigm, we are taking enough data and functions. So where we are placing this data and functions in your C++ as well as in your Java, we are placing in the class. So what I am doing, I am wrapping it into a single unit. I am wrapping into a single unit and I am protecting these data from the misuses or external interfaces. So this is possible through a construct called class. So if I take a general example, if you observe general medicine of capsules, right? We are familiar with medicine capsules. If you hold that medicine capsules, it possesses of a medicine wrapped by some synthetic or some solvable plastic materials, right? If you open that synthetic or solvable plastic material, then what it happens? It will lose its behavior. So then what I am doing, the medicine is protected by from that wrapping uh, covers. So it is the same thing. For example, if you are taking some chocolates, then what we are doing, we are wrapping that chocolate by some wrappers, right? If you don't wrap that chocolate by the wrappers, then the data will be spoiled, the chocolate will be spoiled. So in the same sense, we have to protect our real world data. Okay, if we want to protect our data, what I have to do, I have to wrap data and function into a single unit and I have to protect it from external misuse. So let us see the example of a car. So last we came to know, if I want to stop the car, I have to press the pedal of a car. Suppose if we do not know the mechanism of a braking system, then what happens? Car should not stop, car should not hold, right? The mechanism behind braking system is encapsulated. If we do not encapsulate the mechanism of a braking system, then what happens? Car won't stop, car will not function properly. So we are protecting that mechanism. Okay, if you don't protect that mechanism, your data will be definitely lost. So this feature is sometimes we are treating it as a data hiding, and this will be mainly implemented through objects. Okay, next our concept is inheritance. Reusability is the basic technique behind the inheritance. So already we know deriving a new class from an existing old class is called as an inheritance. Then what actually we are doing? We are doing reusage of codes. If we reuses the code, then we can making the reusage of a code. I am developing a new product, I am developing a new code, I am developing a new concept, I am developing a new software. So this is the technique behind the inheritance. So that is why the first statement gives reusability is the basic technique behind inheritance. Once a class has been written, created and debugging, it can be distributed to other program for use in their own program. So if you write the code once, you are created and debugged, you can distribute that same program in some other programs, and you are defining a new program. So that is the usage of reusability. C++ allows a program to build hierarchy of classes. So it definitely allows to build a hierarchy of classes. The derivation of a classes is used for building hierarchy. Yes. If I want to make a hierarchy, I have to derive. So what I am deriving? Already existing one. I am taking the already existing one and I am implementing my new ideas in that, and I am developing a new product. Okay. The basic features of a class, here we are treating as a parent class or base class. The old class is called as a parent class or base class. can be passed on to the derived class. So parent class can be passed to the derived class. Derived class is a new class, that is a child class. Yes, if you observe the television set, earlier we are using black and white TVs. Now most of your kid you do not know which type of TVs we are using. Earlier we are using the black and white. So by using the concept of a black and white TV, what we are doing, we have modified the code and we have developed for the color TV. Now the TV has drastically changed. The functioning of TV has not changed, but the functioning of TV has extended, right? So now we are taking the color television, home theater, smart TVs, whatever the TV it has been derived from a old TV itself only. We are making the usage of old code only, and we are adding our extra code to develop a new products. Got it? So this is the concept of inheritance. And last concept is polymorphism. Poly means many forms. So the ability to take more than one form using operator or function in different ways. So the main definition of a polymorphism is ability to take more than one form. Then how we are going to be taking the more than one form? For example, if we are using some substances, the word polymorphism we are going to be taking from the substances of charcoal. So if you are observing this carbon is acting as a polymorphism. It is acting as a more than one form. If you observe the carbon, it is acting as a charcoal, as well as it is also used for cutting of the diamonds. So sometimes it is acting as a charcoal, and sometimes it is acting as a graphite. So graphite, in the sense, it is a diamond. Okay. So it is acting as a more than one form. For example, in your slide we are showing one shape a class. We are taking the draw method. This draw method I am taking as a polymorphism. I am making it as a more form. If I am taking as a circle object, I can draw the circle. If I am taking the box object, I can draw the box. If I take the triangle object, I can draw the triangle. So as we know, what is the formula of circle? So formula of circle is pi r square, right? Box, length into breadth. For triangle, half into length into breadth. So I am taking the draw method and I am calling the type of a circle, and sometimes it is based on whatever the parameters I am supplying. Whatever the parameter I am supplying, it is acting as many forms. So this is called as polymorphism. Next, we are moving to the main interesting part of Java programming. This is one of a very important question. Structure of a simple Java program. As we know the structure of a C program as well as a C++ program, now we are moving to the structure of Java program. Here we are presenting the structure of Java program. Okay. So Java program mainly contains classes which only one class defines a main method. So Java contains classes. In classes you are mentioning data members or data and methods. All these data and methods are executed from a main method, just like as in your C. From where your C and C++ program will executes, it starts executes from main method, right? So here also in Java also all your programs are executed from your main method. Classes contains data members and methods that operate on data members of the class. So then these classes consist of data members and methods. All these data members and methods that operate on the data members of the class. So where these methods will be acting on the members of the class. Methods may contain data type, declaration and executable statements. So your methods may contain the data type, declarations and some of our executable statement. Now let us see the structure of video. ಒಂದೊಂದು PPT ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು PPT ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊನು ಅವು ಪೂರ PPT ಗೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಕನ್ನಡ ಒಂದೊಂದು PPT ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಒಂದೊಂದು PPT ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಹಾಕೋಣ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಕೂಡ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಗೆ ತಂದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊನು ಬೊಕ್ಕ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊನಾಗ ಕೊಡ್ತದ
ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್
ಸೇವ್ ಆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾ
ಸೇವ್ ಆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದು
ವಿಡಿಯೋ
ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಸೇವ್ ಆಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅದು ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ ಐತೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್
ಆಸ್
ಫೈಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಐತೆ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಅಂತ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಉಂಟು ಹಾಕೊಂಡು
ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಲ್ಪ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು
ಐತೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು 1 ಗಂಟೆ.
Now let us see the structure of Java programming. First one is the documentation section. As you know, what is the documentation section? Documentation section defines the name of the program, author and other things which is mentioned in command lines. Next one is the package statements. Documentation section, here you are identifying that suggestive, so it may or may not require. And package statement. Package statement is an optional. So we are going to be learning what is this package. Packages are some of built-in methods, and it possesses of classes, methods, inheritance, and everything. We are going to be learning these things in coming chapters. And next one is imports statements. These imports statements is also optional for something, but sometimes it must require. So it is just like as an packages and import statements are acting as an act like as an header files, but here there is no concept of header files. Next one is the interface statements. ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ
ಅದರಿಂದ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಹೌದು
ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು?
OBS ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ನೀವು ಇಮೇಜ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ?
ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ
ಅಲ್ಲ. ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ?
ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ P.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಈಗ
ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ U ಅನ್ಪಾಸ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಮೊದಲೇ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ?
ಹೌದು.
ಆಗಲಿ, ಗುಡ್. ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ಸುಷ್ಮಾ ಫೋಟೋ ಸಿಗ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾನ್? ಅದು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ? ಅದೇನು ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ
ಅದೇನೋ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
ಅದು ಬರಬಾರ್ದು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಅದು
ಯಾಕೆ ಅದು? ಹೌದು, ಚೂರು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಅಂತ.
ಬಟ್ ಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದದು ಅವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಫ್ರೀ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅದು.
ಫ್ರೀ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ?
ಅದು 1 year ಫ್ರೀ ಏನೋ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ.
ರಿಲಯಬಲ್?
ಹೌದು,
ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ.
ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಹ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದನ್ನು ಅವನು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ.
ಹೌದಾ?
ಹೌದು, ಅವರ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್.
ಸರಿ, ಓಕೆ. ಅದು ಯಾಕೆ ಕೇಳಿ ಒಂಚೂರು ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಬೇಕು, ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾಟ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತದ್ದು. ಹೌದು,
ನಾನು ಅದೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್.
ಕೆಲವರು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ.
ಅದೇ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಜಗದೀಶ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಸರ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ.
ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ.
ನೋಡಿ ಅದು ಕೇಳಿ ಒಂಚೂರು ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡುವ. ಹಾಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದು ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಲ್ ಪೇ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅಥೆಂಟಿಕೇಶನ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಉಂಟಾದ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಅವ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಫ್ರೀ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನ, ಬಟ್ ಬೇರೆ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಪೇ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ 1 year ಅದು ಫ್ರೀ ಇರಬೇಕು.
ಇದೀಗ ಮಾಡಿ 1 year ಅಷ್ಟೇ
ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ.
ಮೊದಲೆಂತ ಇತ್ತು?
1 year ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ 1 year. ಹೌದು, ಅಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಡೇನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಡೇ. ಹೌದು,
ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಕಾಲೇಜ್
ಹೌದು, ಏಪ್ರಿಲಲ್ಲೇ ಆಯಿತು. ಸೊ ಫ್ರೀ ಇದ್ದ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ
ನೋಡಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಅದು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತೇಳಿ.
ಅದು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. Now after the interface statement, we are going to be seeing what is this interface statement in forthcoming slides. Let us see class definitions. Next structure is a class definition. Here your Java program begins. So afterwards we are having a main method class. Every Java program starts from main method class. Main method class possesses of a main method definition. Main method definition in the sense variable declarations, method declarations, and any executable statements, processing statements, and everything will be placed within a main method class. Now documentation section. Already we have explained this documentation section comprises of a set of comment lines giving the name of the program, author, and other details. So you are going to be identifying here. Next, the statement is a package. The first statement allowed in a Java file is a package statement. This statement declares a package name and informs the compiler that the class defined here belongs to this package. So it is just like as a folder. Package is a collection of a folder. In that collection of a folder comprises of a collection of classes, methods and interfaces. So package is just like as a folder. In that folder it consists of a set of classes, methods and interfaces. So if you observe here the package student, what is this package? Package is a keyword and student is the name of that folder, name of the package. So the package statement is optional, that is our classes do not have to be part of a package. Next is import statements. The next thing after a package statement, but before any class definition may be a must, a number of import statement. This is similar to the #include statement in C. Just I have explained before you. These import statements are optional. Sometimes it is compulsory. But these import statements are compulsory. We have to use in your Java program. For example, here import to student. What is your student? Package dot test. It specifies in the student folder we have to import test class file in this program. Okay. Import student dot test in the sense student is a package name, test is the name of the class file. We are importing the class test file from the student to my program. So that is the thing we are explaining the import statements. Next our concept is interface statements. An interface is like a class but includes a group of methods declaration. So it is similar to your class. Then what is a class? Class is a keyword. Okay, user defined data type. Like a class, interface is also a class, but it consists of only method declaration. It doesn't possess any implementation part. Okay, for example, if I am taking as an add method, how to declare the add method? Void add of. Then we know how to process the addition of two numbers, but here it possesses only method declaration. We do not implement that. So these statements are an optional, but these are very much essential for inheritance, multiple inheritance concept. This is an optional section and is used only when we wish to implement the multiple inheritance feature in the program. Next, our section is the class. Every Java program contains multiple class definitions. Classes are the primary and essential elements of Java programs. These classes are used to map the object of real world problems. By using these classes, we are routing objects of the real world problem. The number of classes used depend on the complexity of the problem. If you are using more than one class means based on the complexity of your program, you are defining your classes. Next, main method class. Every programming structure, every programming language begins from main method class. Here also we are having main method class. So since every Java standalone program, please observe here, Java supports two types of programs. One is a standalone application program and another one is applet. Already we have learned in your previous section. Since Java standalone program requires a main method as its starting point, this class is the essential part of Java program. Compulsory, these are the essential part. A simple Java program may contain only this part. For your standalone application program, main method class will exist, but for your applet program, you do not have any main method class for the execution of applet programs. The main method creates objects of various classes and establishes communication between them. So in your main methods, you are going to be creating an n number of an object for your classes, and also you are establishing the communication. So where you are establishing the communication? By using the object, you are mapping your methods. On reaching the end of the main, the program terminates. Whenever the program reaches the end, so the reaching the end means whenever it comes to the closing curly braces, there it will come to the starting point. So the control moves to the operating system. Let me see a sample program of Java. Here first identifying this is a sample Java program in multi-line comment, and I have saved this file with sample1.java. Please make a note. I am using, this is a documentation section. Okay, this gives an idea about what my program is. Okay, now afterwards I am writing the class followed by name of the class. What is the name of the class? Sample1. Afterwards compulsory we have to use open curly brace. Next here it comes public static void main string args. This is the main method. Public static void main bracket open string args. If you observe here args afterwards we are having square brackets. It clearly gives it is an array type of string. So it holds string data type. Okay. So this is the main method. Every Java program starts from this statement. Afterwards we have to compulsory use open curly brace followed by the curly brace closing. In this I have placed one simple output statement. What is my simple output statement? If I want to display Java is better than C++, I have to use an output statement. So here the output statement is system.out.println followed by the open and closing braces. Within opening and closing braces I have used double quotations and I have mentioned my string to display. Okay, here if you observe in system it S should be capital. You have to suppose to note whenever you are using the output statement system.out.println S should be capital. And if you observe here in the main method string args, S should be capital. Here the string is a data type. Till now you have not seen these kind of a data type in your C++, but here the string is a data type we are using in Java. Okay, this is a sample program. Now here the first line class sample1, class is a keyword, sample1 is the name of the keyword. Afterwards we are using the open curly brace followed by the closing curly brace. Afterward the main method, main line, public static void main string args. This question has been asked in many previous question papers, so please go through it. This will be asked for 2 and 6 marks question, 4 marks question, structure of a Java program. So this is very important, and sometimes this will be asked for 2 marks. So public static void main string args. Here the concept of a public static void main, it is a main method. It is just like as a main function in your C and C++. It possesses of a main method and followed by a set of statement. Let us see what are these keywords specified. So first one is a public. The keyword public is an access specifier that declares the main method as unprotected and therefore making it accessible to all other classes. This is similar to the C++ public modifier. So as we know, public keyword, public means anybody can access. So we are unprotecting our data. So some other outside of the class, some other object can also refer these methods. It is just like as a public modifier in your C++. Next one keyword is the static, which declares this method as one that belongs to the entire class and not a part of any object of the class. This static declares methods, whatever the method you are using, the main method is not belongs to a particular class or not belongs to a particular object of the class. So it doesn't belongs to any particular class or any particular methods. Okay, the main must be always declared with static since the interpreter uses this method before any objects are created. As we know, Java is compiled as well as interpreted. After compilation you have to interpret. So that is why this interpretation will identify whatever the method you have created, that will be interpreted by this static keyword before any objects are created. When it will be interpreted before the creation of an object. Next one is void keyword. We are familiar with void. It is avoiding the return values. Okay. it doesn't returns any value to the calling methods. All parameters to a method are declared inside a pair of parentheses, whatever the parameters. So after the void we are using the main method. Main method afterwards we are using the braces. In the braces we are defining the parameters. So as we know what is a parameter, formal parameter as well as actual parameter. Here string args declares a parameter named args which contains an array of object of the class type string. So let us just see this main method, and next our concept is compile of a Java program. So then how to compile this Java program and how to running this Java program. Okay, I will show it practically. Let us just see here identifying one colon, right, C colon slash greater than symbol. It clearly gives we are using some DOS mode. In the DOS mode I have to use compiler. So what is the compiler? Java C sample1.java. Afterwards this is the compilation of your Java program, and next you are running the Java program. Then how to run the Java program? C colon slash Java interpreter, Java C means Java compiler. Now sample1 is the name of the program. Whenever you compile and run your program, it display Java is better than C++. So here we are having our second program. Let us having a look in this second program. What is the documentation section here? Here it is defining as a documentation section example2.java, and I am starting here class followed by example2 followed by open curly brace. I am using the main methods. Afterwards open curly brace, I am declaring the variable. This declares a variable called num, and I am assigning the value 100 to a num, and I am displaying the value of num. If you observe here system.out.println, here we are taking two statements. Here the plus symbol is acting as a concatenation operation. What is the purpose of concatenation? To join the two statements, right? This is num. In num variable, how much value is there? 100. So num, next I am processing some value. Num is equal to num into 2. What is the value of num? 100. 100 into 2, 200. Where I am storing? Num. And then once again I am displaying the value of num2 is and num. So we can club these two println statement by using here the plus symbol followed by the num. Now I want to compile this program. Then how to compile this program? To compile this program, we have to enter into the editor and we have to type as Java C followed by example2.java. If it possesses any errors, it will show. Afterwards we have to run our Java program. Okay, now how to run the Java program? By using the keyword Java followed by name of the class. What is the name of the class? Example2. So next our concept is Java keywords. I will show these two programs after this slide. This is the end of a slide. Okay, I will show detail how to compile and run your Java program. Okay, yes, already we are familiar with keywords. What is a keyword? Keywords are reserved words whose meaning has already been explained. So whenever you are going to be using these keywords, the compiler has known its meaning. Okay, here various types of keywords are available. Let us see these charts. Till now you have learned only 32 keywords in your C and some 40 keywords in your C++. Now you are going to be learning different keywords: abstract, boolean, break, byte value, case, cast, catch, care, class, const, continue, default, do, double, else, extensive, false, and all these are the keywords. Next chapter onwards we are going to be using these keywords. You just see here interface is also a keyword, class is also a keyword. Okay, clear? Yes, here some keywords possess of a star means these keywords are used for future purpose. Some keywords possess of a double star. These values are defined by Java. So whenever we are using these kinds of stars, star data type, this single star defines reserved for future use. Future use we are going to be using double star, indicates the value of a defined by Java. Okay. So here the end of chapter 1, and let us see the identifiers. What is an identifier? Identifiers are used for class names, method names and variable names. The name given to the class, methods, variables are nothing but an identifiers. You are familiar in your C and C++. Okay. An identifier may be descriptive sequence of uppercase and lowercase letter. We know what are the rules to give an identifiers. It may be anything, either uppercase or lowercase, or a sequence of letters, numbers or underscores, and here special symbol as $sign is also acceptable. They must not begin with a number. Okay, even if you want to give the name of a variable, the name of the variable must start with an alphabet. It should not be start with a number. Again, Java is case sensitive. So as we know, what is a case sensitive? Uppercase and lower cases are different. Okay. Here some of valid identifier as given. Average term, A and T is in capitals. It is a valid one. Count is also valid identifier. A4 is a valid identifier. $test. See, before the test we are using the special symbol as a dollar. In your C++, it will accept only underscore. Here it accept as dollar. This is okay. Okay, this underscore is underscore okay. This is also one of a valid identifier. Suppose if you give this hyphen is hyphen okay, it is an invalid. If you observe here, invalid variable name identifiers to count. So the number as started, it is a invalid. High temp, high afterwards we are using hyphen symbol. It is also invalid identifier. It will accept so only high, and it will skip temp, and it will show an error not by okay. It is also an invalid identifier. Thank you. Let me meet in next chapter.